All right, everybody, welcome to another StarCraft Underground match. Today, what I've got for you is this is one of our round two matches, right? And so last time we uploaded a video, it was from the initial bracket of the first Brood War tournament. This is the same tournament, but this is in, I think, the round of six, the second round. Both of these players having won their previous matches. And our players for this week, what we've got, or not this week, but this round, this replay, is we've got Havi, which is going to be up in, or I'm sorry, down in the bottom left as the purplish Terran. And then we have Ricehat in the top left, which is going to be our green Terran. So right now they're both powering up, and while they're powering up, just a little bit of an explanation about StarCraft Underground. StarCraft Underground is a nice, fun little casual tournament in which you have a lot of time to plan your matches, right? Like every match, you have a week to plan with your opponent. You play the series, and up until the finals, it's a best of three. Now, we're not playing for prize money. The skill variance is very high. There's no split between the various S-rank players or D-rank players or whatever the case may be. But as you enter the finals of an 8-player tournament, or if you make the top 4 of a 16-player tournament, you level up, right? And so then once you level up into the next level, as we're calling it in SC Underground, you then play against others that are in that same boat. Now, I do want to point out, as we're starting to get some structures put down, both players have opted to go ahead and get their gas and also throw out a barracks now. But what we're seeing is Ricehat throwing his barracks way down towards the center of the map. Now, what I'm a little unclear on is what the scouting paths look like here, right? Like, is this going to be seen as Havi takes his SCV to go explore up to the pop base? It doesn't look like he's going to. Now, I'm wondering if that would be seen if he did a cross spawn scout first. He even seems to ensure, Ricehat seems to ensure that his own scouting pattern isn't even seen by Javi's SCV. Now, when Havi gets his SCV up here into Ricehat's base, he's going to notice that there's a missing barracks, right? Like, that is very, very standard. Pretty much every build will have a barracks at this time. So getting that scout off early, his choice to go clockwise in this fashion as opposed to going counterclockwise is going to allow him to know that something fishy is going on. Now, Ricehat did send this SCV over here to the top right to just chill. We do have one Marine on the field right now, and Ricehat is going to have another SCV come down here to scout. Now, we do see a factory going down for both players. We've got I don't know why I'm struggling. I keep wanting to call Havi Ricehat and Ricehat Havi. I don't know why the colors are messing with me like that. But we do see that factory going down here, up a little bit towards the ramp location with the barracks. And then the factory kind of staying over here near the command center for Ricehat. Now, Ricehat's had to sacrifice a good amount of SCV production, it looks like, with some of the economy impact of him running all over. It does look like he might be... Whoops. I forget that clicking on the name up there does that. But it does look like he is banking some minerals, so we'll probably see an expansion from him, I would guess, coming up pretty soon. And I'm not sure if he's going to do that in the natural, or if he's going to use this SCV to do something crazy. But either way, bunker is up for Havi, along with a vulture out on the field. And he's going to be able to micro this away, potentially picking up all 3 of these Marines. Yeah, so all 3 of those Marines do go down. And Ricehat's initial push there, not really getting much out of it. Now, as mentioned, he does get his expansion set up at the natural. And he's starting his own vulture production. So his vulture heading down, trying to keep an eye, poke in, see what's going on. I think that was seen by Javi's barracks. Yeah. So, anyway, I think what we're going to get, this game specifically was recommended for this cast after doing the last one as one that we should watch and that we should get going. even though it is TVT. So I'm curious to see if this is going to be a TVT where there's a big initial battle, and that just kind of overall swings the favor to one player, in which the game ends in a relatively quick manner. Or if we're going to end up with this huge double, siege line, trench warfare kind of style with drops trying to sneak around the edges that often come up in TVT kind of battles. So maybe we'll be in for a good long series. Now we do have Havi. Havi is getting his speed for his vultures upgraded right now, and that's going to be coming online here pretty soon. Not seeing that started yet for Ricehat, so that is going to give Havi a good advantage here for a while. We do see that popping up now. This barracks getting shot at, but it is going to be getting a full scout, right? So Ricehat's going to be seeing, okay, Javi's sitting on 3 factories. How am I doing? I'm sitting on 3 factories, I've got 1 machine shop, he's got 1 machine shop. So right now, for all, intents and purposes, everything's pretty even. Javi doing the same, floating his barracks over, keeping an eye on what's going on in Ricehat's base. Pretty standard to do so when kind of playing a mech build. Ricehat's going to probably end up losing his barracks over here. And we see both players just powering up. So right now, I'm not sure. I don't see any tanks for Javi at this time. Ricehat is sitting on 1, and he is moving out with it wherever it went. Is this the tank? Yeah. No siege mode as of yet. And Javi is getting his mines. Now these vultures run straight into the tanks and this other swarm of vultures that were sitting on the high ground. Does look like Ricehat got a little bit of a favorable trade there. Maybe. I'm not seeing anything hurt, so maybe everything did die that was getting shot at there. Javi's going to go ahead and get a good repair on his vultures. Also, his mines are almost complete. So if he can push out here and drop some mines around this tank, it'll make quick work of it. Right now, Vulture Supremacy does look to be in Javi's favor. Is going to get this tank. It does go down and pulls Ricehat's Vultures into range of the bunker here for just a little bit. But yeah, overall, just poking, prodding. Losing that tank does hurt a little. And now Javi getting an academy, getting an armory. And the fact that he's getting that so early, or compared to his opponent, is likely to allow him a really sweet timing with some earlier upgrades. Okay, so now both players have mines available. Right now these vultures are just going to shoot at each other. Oh, here we go. Some reinforcements from Ricehat is going to keep the contain on Javi here for a little bit. Okay, and now we start getting the spider mines going down. Now, Javi still has the advantage of seeing everything that's going on, seeing everything that's coming out of the base with this barracks. And as mentioned, he does start +1 weapons and siege mode. Siege mode about to come online at the same time for both of these players. And we do see a tank here, which will definitely help with pushing these vultures away. He also has the academy somewhere. There it is. Which is going to allow him to build this CompSat, right? So he's going to be able to start scanning for these mines and clearing them out as he moves out. So we'll go ahead and have to see how that plays. Ricehat getting another couple factories, going to bring his number up to 5. And right now supplies are looking pretty even. Right here, this is the attempted contain. And what Javi's doing is he's poking out, he's pulling the vultures back towards his siege tank, and the siege tank's getting some really good shots off. A couple of these vultures looking pretty messed up. But overall, no crippling damage, no huge economic damage really going down for either player. We also see Javi going ahead, getting a 4th factory, and he's opting for a command center. He's looking to get a push, feeling confident that he'll be able to break out of here and get that 3rd base up. Now this tank is super low, did get an extra shot off, but the vultures ended up making quick work of that as he moved his own tank up. So this is kind of that that chess match I was talking about, that trench warfare that we're seeing a little bit. And he's using his comsat to clear some of these mines. You know, I haven't seen an academy or any type of detection for Ricehat at this time. I don't know what's up here. What's behind this? Oh, there's the academy now. Okay, so it is going up. And Javi's vultures doing work, taking the brunt of these tank shots so that he can move his tank up. Uh-oh. Ricehat's tank just driving straight down into these vultures is going to be cleaned up. And a third one showing up. Again, kind of rallied down here to try to keep Javi contained. I think Javi is going to be breaking out of here, getting this crucial area to where he can start slipping behind and either take this only mineral base or the base with the gas at the 6 o'clock. Now, Ricehat has taken the opportunity with, you know, he's been able to apply pressure and keep Javi contained to the point where he felt comfortable to come up here to the 9 o'clock position and take this base. So this has started. Don't believe Javi is aware of it. Javi is going to start poking around, getting some scouts off, just to make sure there's no funny business, no secret bases. Probably maybe plant some mines, if I were to guess, just at these various locations so he can keep an eye on things. All right. Both sides macroing up. Javi is going ahead and getting +1 armor. Right now we do have +1 weapons, +1 armor on the way. Right now for Ricehat, he is still sitting without upgrades on his mech. But he's also powering up and teching up with a starport, right? A starport. He's also getting an eBay. And so we'll end up seeing what direction he goes with those. He's had the time. There's not a whole lot of pressure, not much exchanges going on at the moment to start facilitating, you know, the fortification of this site. It's not fully saturated yet, not much mining going on, but has created a wall, has dropped a couple mines in preparation for drops or whatever the case may be, and does have a tank up there on the high ground. So a tough position to push. Javi has opted for the safer mineral-only base. Does look like he's unsieging though. Likely a rearrangement, I would guess. Not sure if he's gonna straight up push with this, but he does have a pretty good supply lead. I think he does have the larger army at the moment, and it does look like Ricehat is trying to establish a defense as well in preparation for this. All right, so Javi poking out with his vultures. Seeing the tanks go down, he likely saw the command center going up here. Again, I'm actually not so sure he's aware of this. Like, he's got his whole army driving right by it, where, you know, a few tanks right here and a couple scans might start being able to eat away at this. So I don't know if this is an intentional decision, or if he's just not thinking about this base, because he saw this one go up, and that kind of matches what he had going on. But he does get another base going at the 6 o'clock position. And right here, we do have a little bit of a penetration of Ricehat's tank line. But he is going to be able to shoo away Javi's vultures with his own and maintain this defense up here. Also, I'm so thankful for this zoom feature in Remastered. Being able to zoom out like this with these tank lines is so clutch. Ricehat running down. Dropping some mines, getting some damage off on one of these tanks. Now the scans are a little far. I don't think he saw those mines, and his tanks are going to take a ton of damage. Now if this gets target fired, oh, it was like one shot away. Pretty sure this tank is outside of splash for this. So I don't think this tank is going to do it. Yep, that one gets pushed out. So now we see kind of the boa constrictor of Javi's army. Really starting to kind of reverse the way this game was going earlier on. All the while, Javi's barracks, his MVP barracks, watching everything happen. There is a turret that's going down. The eBays are at work. We do still continue to see upgrades coming in for Javi. Sitting at 1-1 now, and it looks like he's got 2-2 going up with double armory, in addition to additional factories going down. So I think if left unchecked, if Ricehat's not going to be able to break this, Javi's army is looking pretty dang scary. He started adding Goliaths into the mix. And right now trying to pick off these tanks and doing a good job. You know, slowly moving forward, picking off these tanks, getting the spider mines down to secure it, and then the Goliaths to protect against any type of starport activity, which we do see coming from Ricehat right now as he's starting to go into a little bit of Wraith production. Cloak is also on the way. So, good read by Javi to start making some of these Goliaths in preparation for that. Good amount of turrets going down at this base. The 9 o'clock looking relatively safe. And so if we just take stock of our position right now, we've got 1, 2, 3 bases plus the mineral base for Ricehat. And then it does look like the same for Havi, except Havi is off getting his 5th down here in the bottom right. I think right now Havi is sitting in a pretty good position. Javi's also sitting at 177 supply. But both players, knowing that the way that Terran games go, being very careful with running into each other, right? Alright, so Ricehat cleaning that up. Not sure if he saw the spider mine, which I think that belongs to Javi. So hopefully... Yeah, he didn't see it. So this command center being blocked by this mine, I believe. Okay, I hear the Wraiths. Where are they? Okay, so Wraiths have entered the field. So we saw the Goliaths, but they're way up here. And these Wraiths are going to start picking away at these tanks. And he's got a decent amount of them. He's got 5. Javi's got himself a science vessel. Very helpful for the mine clearing that's been going on. But that is going to get picked off so fast by these Wraiths, and it does. It goes down. A dropship. The 2 dropships been sighted. Dropships so often used to break this stalemate. But these Wraiths are just going to take them down. Now, this is an opportunity, I think, for Ricehat, right? Like, there's a few Goliaths. Those are a pain. He's got the cloak, though, but he's going to be able to fly around here and potentially start picking off some of these SCVs. Now, turrets are up here. Turrets going down here. Maybe I was being a little hasty. Maybe there's not actually a whole lot that these Wraiths are going to be able to accomplish at the moment. But he is going to get a full scout. I don't know if he's going to see this, but this is a very vulnerable base. Oh, he does see it. Okay, so the Wraiths are going to start going to work over here. Doesn't look like I thought I heard something, but still a stalemate across the top third of the map. And these Wraiths just going to work. I think these are turrets going down. Yeah, they're not going to get done. And these Wraiths are just going to clean up shop down here. Now, while the attention's going on over here, we do have more vehicle weapons, right? So we're sitting at 2-2 for Javi's army. And right now, if we look at Ricehat, we're sitting at 1-0. So you're going to see these vultures just melt the other vultures. These tanks melt the other tanks. Right now, Javi only sieging 1 tank and just running the other ones through. Here we go. We do get a big siege, but this is clumped up. Just a couple of those siege tank shots does do massive damage. And these mines are further tightening the grip around Ricehat's position. Okay, so it looked like the Goliaths came down here and cleaned out Ricehat's Wraiths. Not seeing more Wraiths from Ricehat, but Ricehat, you know, did get a good feel that the anti-air wasn't terribly strong, right? Like, there was a good amount of Goliaths, but they were kind of mispositioned. There's a good amount of... there's the Wraiths. I guess they just flew away. There's a good amount of opportunity for the dropships, is what I'm saying. Here come those Goliaths again. They're going to probably melt these real quick. Yep, by Wraiths. And then we see some movement up here. These vultures going to run in, try to drop these mines on top of these tanks. Ooh, are they going to get triggered? Oh, this tank right here, proving to be very helpful. Timely scan does keep Javi's tanks alive. Now this base is going up, and this is going to require some protection if these tanks continue to push. And here comes that protection, right? Here comes the escort for this base. Oh, but now he's swarming on the left. He hit the right, got the reaction, and that gave him a window of time, him being Javi, to try to launch up on this high ground. Now, these tanks are pretty clumped up, but there's a good amount of them, and with the upgrade advantage, you know, these Goliaths are eating a lot of shots. Not sure if he's in range of this command center, or what the vision looks like, but with a good scan... Oh, yeah. These tanks are going to start laying waste to the command center up here. This is a little bit of a tough spot. We do see that we're mined out at the natural for Ricehat. The main, getting close. Every one of these expansions are so important. Ricehat's dropships were seen. I did not see where they went. It looks like they're still full. Okay, so they're picking up, and they're going to probably drop right on top of these. Yep. Ricehat's tanks and vultures being dropped right on top of this offensive siege tank line. Now, Javi not sieging his tanks that are reinforcing, right? And that's great. Trying to avoid that splash damage, make sure that he can actually reach and shoot at the things that are up in his face. And this, I think, is where everyone's attention is. This is where both players are just fighting over this area. But you know what? Dang it, I missed it. Javi at some point snuck up here and did take out this expansion that was being built. This was the initial push that led to the reaction where Ricehat went up there to the 12 o'clock that started this engagement. All right, Ricehat repelling this pretty well, does reestablish a strong defense up here on the high ground. But without this base, the income disparity is going to start growing pretty high. Javi's got this bottom right. He's got the 6 o'clock. It does look like, yep, this natural's up as well. Yeah, right now I would just say Javi's economy is booming. And right now this is the money maker for Ricehat. That and the mineral base. But that gas, that precious gas, when you're running these mech builds are so important. Super great game so far. I'm curious if the other matches in this series are going to be similar. All right, we do have a dropship heading out over here. Now, it's being seen by all of Javi's mines. Not sure what the reaction's going to be, but we do see vultures heading up to the top right. And a Goliath. So it looks like Javi, you know, might have lost sight of this dropship. Checking out this base to see if there was maybe like an SCV or something for an expansion. Heading down. And he's going to probably intercept this pretty quick. I think this is going to come in and do a decent amount of damage. But I don't think it's going to be necessarily game-ending. And with that, we have another engagement going up here on the high ground. So this is going to get cleaned up pretty quick, I think. It looks like the dropship might have died to turrets, and it looks like Javi is pushing in on this mineral-only base. And if he secures this high ground, I think it's going to be really tough to retake, especially with some Goliath support. Here comes Ricehat with a bunch of dropships. Pretty sizable army, though. He's been doing a really strong job of repelling Javi from this angle, from this attack. And he does it again, right? He takes the dropship, just plops down, and cleans that up. Again, though, like, Ricehat's position is pretty much this quadrant, right? Like this screen right here. And I know that he's thinking he needs to expand. He needs to push forward in some way. But that tank line's getting a little thin. I think the method he's looking for right now, though, is a big doom drop. If he can get in on the production of Javi, that might be what he needs to get a strong advantage. Now, what I'd be curious about is if Javi's going to do a counterattack, or if he's going to come straight back. All right, it looks like Ricehat drops. It looks like there's already siege tanks here waiting for the drop. Again, 3-3 siege tanks against 2-1 siege tanks. Oh, man, Ricehat. And the drop goes down, and that whole army is completely wiped. You can see now the supply telling the story. We're at 197 for Javi to 129 for Ricehat. Very tough position for Ricehat. And we also have Javi building another command center over here. on the 9 o'clock position. Correction, 3 o'clock position. But Ricehat pushing out, gaining ground, taking space. But there are just so many tanks here for Havi. Ricehat continuing his forward movement, using these vultures to great effect, getting right in there, but unfortunately these tanks are not in range. But these mines doing absolute work. Oh, he lost that vulture. If that vulture had survived, you know, these tanks can just push right through though. Havi though with this counterattack, this lane has just been so contested. So many Terran have gone down right here in this square. Huge siege up from Havi. That is going to just eradicate everything up here. And that's it. That's going to be a GG for game one. Great game. That was a lot of fun. Now, a lot of people don't like TVT because it's like pulling teeth sometimes, but that was 25 minutes of really good gameplay. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's go into the second game. Great job by both players. All right, so this next game is going to be on Dominator. And right now, we have much more differentiating colors. Thank God. Last time those two colors were just blending together. So we have Havi up here in the 11 o'clock position. We have Ricehat over here in the 3 o'clock position. Ricehat being 0-1 in this series. And Havi having just taken the first game of the series. Now, what I didn't do last time that I'd like to do for anyone that is relatively new to Brood War, right, is just do a little bit of map, right? Just show the map. So the last map was Polypoid. I didn't do this, so my apologies. But Polypoid is a 4-player map, and what we've got here is... What in the world am I hearing? Anyway, what we've got here is a 3-player map, right? So Dominator has a base up here in the 11 o'clock position. We've got a base down here in the 3 o'clock position. And I actually think there was something open on my screen. Yeah, there we go. So sorry if you heard other voices. There was like a video playing in the background. That was tripping me out. I wonder how long that was going on. Anyway, and then there's a 3rd base down here. Now the interesting thing about Dominator, right, is you start in this low ground, right? And there's a lot of dead space in this low ground. And as you get out of the low ground, you go up into your natural, where there's a decent-sized choke and some high ground that goes into a large central area, right? So that's kind of the gist of this map without going too deep, but I feel like it's important to show, especially if you're new to Brood War and maybe you're coming from SC2 or you're just curious and want to know what the heck is going on. So right now we do have a gas going down for Havi. Gas going down, barracks going down. Very similar builds from both. Pretty standard, right? Supply depot, barracks, gas. As both players are powering up. All right, we do see kind of a clockwise scout from both these players. Havi is going to get a quick identification of where Ricehat is, what Ricehat's doing. You know, and you got to remember, this is coming off of a game where Ricehat initiated with a barracks, you know, in the middle of the map last game. So I'm sure Havi has that in the back of his head, thinking, okay, is there any more shenanigans coming from this guy? Do have a Marine out for Ricehat. He's going to probably kill this SCV and be on his merry way. And that's another important factor of this being a 3-player map, is once you do identify your opponent, or in the case of Ricehat, not identify where your opponent is, you're going to know where he is, right? Like, there's only 2 options. Factory's going down for both players. Nothing terribly crazy going on. Yeah, both players basically doing the same exact build. I think we are going to probably see Javi drop a command center here pretty quickly. And it looks like Ricehat actually is opting for a couple of barracks. Where are they? Oh my gosh. Okay, so he's dropping... Okay, so this is what we were talking about, right? Like last game, he had a barracks in the middle of the map. This game, he's dropping a factory right outside of his opponent's base. And he's seeing, he got the confirmation, okay, Javi is expanding kind of at like a normal time, right? And he's looking in the base and he's like, okay, Javi has normal infrastructure. Oh man, this is looking dangerous for Ricehat. Correction, Javi. Even with the beautiful different colors, I'm still struggling to keep their names straight. So, 2 vultures, 2 marines. The marines are going to look out. They're going to see this barracks. But they're not going to shoot at it. 2 vultures, 2 marines. We got a Goliath. We got Goliath production going on. And here's the second factory for Javi. Second and third. So, Javi doing a build pretty much the same as last time. I see very little deviation. Last time he also opted to get speed vultures. So speed was kind of the first upgrade that he was going for. Let's see if that happens again. Here we go. Yep, there's speed right on time. And then we have Ricehat with this proxy factory that I'm really curious about. Now, we do have the barracks from Javi floating in. And I'll see, you know, I'm curious if he's going to notice that there's no additional factory. He's going to see that, you know, he's got an armory, which has not been started yet for Javi. And Javi's actually chilling in his base. He's not really poking out with much beyond this barracks. And this barracks hasn't confirmed the size of Ricehat's army. So I think that there's a pretty good chance that this catches Javi off guard. Now what I'm not entirely sure of is whether with the SCV support that these vultures are going to be able to hold it down. All right, now here we go. Here's the early push from Ricehat. Ricehat jumping in, does get 1 vulture, gets an SCV, and oh man, this defense is crumbling. These Goliaths are actually just melting Javi's natural. Oh my gosh. Absolutely amazing job from Ricehat here. Now, you know, retreating back to the main base, he has only 2 vultures, 2 marines, and a handful of SCVs. And right now, these Goliaths are just making such short work of these vultures. Now, these SCVs are getting in the way. They're making a situation muddy. And if Javi can stabilize here, I think he's still in this game. But right now, with these Goliaths on the high ground, this natural basically just being wasted material, I'm not seeing it happen. Now, we'll see how effective this tank can be against these Goliaths. Tank does a great amount of damage, but the flow just keeps coming in, right? And these tanks just take so long. And there it is, Javi GG's. Wow, okay, so definitely not a repeat of the last game we saw. And that is going to even this series up 1-1. Holy dang. Okay, so now the question is, in this next match, if we're going to see Javi do the same build again, right? So far, we've seen 2 different builds from Ricehat. Javi doing kind of the same build twice, which, you know, is effective. But this rush was pretty awesome to see. Now, this next map, the third map that we have in our Best of 3 series is on Death Valley. So we'll go ahead and get that started. And this time, thank goodness, we do have great colors again. Okay, so Ricehat is down here in the bottom right, and Javi is up here in the top left. No, so kind of going back to the whole let's look at the map thing beforehand. Death Valley is a wonky map by any standard of the imagination. And this is often done on purpose with various Brood War map pools. You know, what I've heard is, you know, and if you've watched ASL, which is the large Korean Brood War tournament that's been going on for what feels like forever, they always like to throw in a crazy map, right? That's kind of what I've heard and seen, especially with this last season with Death Valley. So Death Valley is a 2-player map, right? Polypoid, as we saw in the first game, was 4 players. Dominator was 3 players. Death Valley's 2 players, which opens up to all sorts of fun shenanigans because you know exactly where the other opponent is at the beginning of the game. What makes Death Valley so crazy is that, and let's see how far I can zoom out here, is how weird the terrain is, right? So up here on Death Valley, you have, first of all, 2 ramps in your main base. You have one here that has 2 assimilators on gas. Now, if you destroy these, you can't move through with anything. If you destroy one, smaller units can move through, right? So this has the opportunity for players to either seal off their base from one direction or for an opponent to seal off your base for some reason. Down here is a second ramp that has 3 mineral patches that you'll see only have 48 minerals each. This opens you up to all the bases down here. Now, why this is important that this is sealed off on both sides is that in Death Valley, this map is split down the middle, if you can kind of see my mouse right here, with an area that you can't walk through. So like this is open space, this is walled, right? These are all cliffs, open space. And so if you seal these off, there's legitimately no way to walk over to this top end of the map without any type of, you know, airdrop or something. So Death Valley, an absolutely crazy map. And we'll go ahead and see what's going on, right? So we do have barracks going down for both players, gas going down for both players. Very standard, you know, first 3 minutes of the game for a Terran player. Second supply depot, we got some Marines popping out, nothing crazy. Now, what we did see was, you know, we saw Ricehat send an SCV over. And you'll also notice that Havi, I don't think has. No, he has. Okay, so both players have sent SCVs over. They're both confirming, right, that neither other player is doing anything terribly crazy. I know on this map as well, you'll sometimes see people like scout down here and see if these are being mined to see if they're trying to open up to the southern portion of the map. And I'll actually go ahead and turn off the whole map so we can see what the players see. Oh no, I thought this was Ricehat Scout. And we see that sometimes, right? Something else you can do on this, and I think we might actually be about to see it, you can actually glitch workers through the mineral patches. And that looks like what he's trying to do. So he sets up an SCV mining, and then you kind of finagle your other SCV, and they pop through on the other end. So we'll see if he does that. I'll kind of keep my screen here for a second just to see if he does it for sure. And I think he wanted to make sure, he was probably microing those Marines. Yeah, he just did it, right? So instead of taking the time to mine these minerals, you can actually glitch through and set up a base here. And that's so powerful because unless the opponent does the same with their minerals on their base, or they mine out their minerals, they're not going to be able to get down there and attack you. Right? So, doing the old barracks float, we've got a factory down here for Ricehat. Factory getting a machine shop up here for Havi. This seems to be very similar to what Havi has done on the previous games. Good amount of units coming up here from Ricehat. Couple vultures, few Marines. Not a whole lot here on defense. So, 2 Marines, vulture getting a second factory up. This does look like an aggressive push here from Ricehat. Now, we do see the bunker going down, though, and I think the bunker will be extremely helpful here, especially if Ricehat takes any longer. I think if he's going to go, he needs to go now. Yeah, unfortunately, bunker did go down. I'm not entirely sure how effective this push will be against this. Yeah, he opts to poke in, because he doesn't know how many Marines are in here, right? So, like, the difference between 2 Marines and 4 Marines can be pretty significant. And with this vulture here, he's kind of body blocking if he's on like hold position or anything, and it's gonna be tough to squeeze through. Besides, even if he had, this tank is here, and siege mode is on the way, so I think that this is gonna be halted. But he'll probably park out here, keep this contained as much as he can, and also let him know if he's gonna take this expansion. And if he doesn't see this for a while, probably check over here with that floating barracks. Javi being careful with his tank. You see a bunker going down here. And this is, you know, a pretty strong way to make sure that this building, or I'm sorry, that this command center doesn't go down. All the while, you know, this command center having been unscouted. Opening up the path here on the ramp and checking out down here, right? Javi is down here making sure that Ricehat isn't doing the same thing that he's doing. So, like, in a weird way, Javi has control of this southern portion right now. Or I should say more control, more access. Not sure if that SCV was supposed to be... Oh, that was just the SV there for the bunker. I was wondering if he was brought down to repair and he was shirking his duties. Getting a double machine shop here for Javi. We also have armory going down. And what we saw in game one, right, was that Javi, with a little bit of a slow build-up, did start getting those upgrades. And I think that those upgrades played a huge impact on that game. Second base for Ricehat. Looking solid. Up, hasn't been scouted. I think this barracks is going to start heading over there, and he is going to see, okay, we are matching. We're on 2 bases each. 2 more factories underway. This is going to get Ricehat up to 4. Single machine shop. So right now, we do have Javi trying to power up for increased tank production. Getting spider mines on the way. He's going to be taking out his bunkers so that he can actually start getting units through here at a much higher clip. Now, both players do have siege mode upgraded. We have got +1 weapons on the way for Javi. Our gray Terran, brownish Terran. And we have an academy and engineering bay going down for Ricehat. So that's going to help him with visibility. It's going to allow him to start getting comsats up. That's going to allow him to start getting turrets up, which I think is a pretty smart move on this map. Especially since air ends up playing a pretty key role, I think, if this game goes on for a long time. Because the avenues of attack are just so wonky. Keep an eye here. See if there's any movement. Not seeing much of a reinforce. Ricehat opting to get his armory at this time. So he's going to be a little bit behind on upgrades to Javi. But Ricehat does have a pretty substantial army. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we've got tanks and a Goliath coming down. Ricehat does have an engineering bay floating towards that direction, along with this barracks. We'll see if the engineering bay, you know, the engineering bay was probably just like clicked out there. The barracks is going to confirm that there's an expansion here, which he's got to know because there's not one here, and Javi's not dead. This engineering bay, I don't think, saw these tanks moving out. Where'd that scan go off? I didn't see where the scan happened. Oh my goodness. These tanks. Okay, so these tanks, I don't... Like, there's no dropship or anything, right? But if they can deny this area... Oh! What is this? I don't know if they saw each other. But if Ricehat's mining this, this is going to open it up for this army to actually get in. Oh my gosh. Okay, and then we got a missile turret coming down. Okay, this is going to play a huge role. This is going to be crazy. Okay, so the barracks does see this, though. It's getting pushed away by some Marines. We do have turrets going down. We do have a dropship in production right now. On its way for Javi. And so Javi's going to have the opportunity to lift off into this base if he's identified before these get mined out by these 2 SCVs. Oh my gosh. This is just the craziest ambush in waiting right now. We do have Goliaths on the field for Ricehat. So, good placement of those in combination with the turrets. I gotta see. What? Like, hold on. Actually, I think there's a better way to do this. I think if I just click Ricehat. Oh my gosh. Javi can actually see Ricehat, but Ricehat can't see him. So Javi knows this is about to get opened. And here comes the dropship sneaking around the outside to help support. Okay, now this is where, if I were Ricehat, I'd be freaking out. Because this engineering bay just saw this whole train come down here. Just at the same time as this mineral gets down. Okay, so he's planning to expand. No fighting has actually been initiated here. Huge amount of soldiers up here. Oh my gosh, he's coming all the way back around. Okay, so he's spotted that he's in danger from this avenue of approach. And he is rushing to get everything back down here to push through. Okay, scan goes down. He knows it's here now. The dropship elevatoring things up. The mines are going down. Okay, this was perfect timing for Ricehat to get back. But is it going to be enough? There's so many tanks here. No tanks for Ricehat. Some are finally going to get up here. Okay, so if Ricehat can make quick work here. Oh no, is he going to get this canceled? Does it need to be canceled? I don't know. We got dropships. What we saw last game, Ricehat is a big fan of dropshipping huge portions of his army right on top of siege tanks. Now, there's one turret, but that's not enough to dissuade him. We've got 8 vultures about to come down. Is he going to be able to repel this? Right now, the tanks are just battling it out. Now, right now, the superiority in the army is definitely on Ricehat's side. And behind all this, Javi, he's expanding up here. Just wanted to point that out. Because this is delaying a third base for Ricehat this whole time and enabling Javi to get his up. So it does look like this is Oh, but I missed this! This elevator! It's going to be taking out this science facility. But here comes some vultures, but that's not enough. That's not enough to take care of a tank and all these Goliaths. Sieging these up, that should. Goliaths target fire the one tank. But it doesn't. Oh my goodness. This is so annoying. And not only that, but without this being finished, supply block is a little bit of an issue for Ricehat. Got a good amount of vultures up here. So Rally is still sending up towards the north, and the elevators are just coming. Oh my gosh. To include an SCV. Oh no, never mind. I'm highlighting that. Whoops, that makes more sense. Okay. So we got reinforcements inbound. Oh my gosh. 2 more tanks. Handful of vultures. This is not a good position to be in. 1 starport goes down. This is absolute insanity. And this is why... Let me see if I can zoom in, make this fight easier to see what's going on. But this is why these crazy maps are so crazy, right? It enables wild tactics like this. And this is a huge area, right? It just so happened that all the buildings kind of stretch down there, but there's a world where a certain timing can hit and all the buildings are up here and you don't even see your opponent drop on you. It does look like Ricehat's building another engineering bay, probably so he can get some more turrets. I think the one floating around went down. Command center went up. Okay, so Ricehat has stabilized. But has he stabilized enough for this? We have a huge convoy of Havi Terran steamrolling their way down to this 5 o'clock position. And there's just 1 siege tank, a couple more unsieged, and some vultures. You know, I'd like it if you'd put some mines out here, at least to, you know, delay a little bit. CC is currently burning down. Oh my goodness, this is just so many tanks. Mines do go down for Javi. Now, right now, Ricehat's got some money, and he's using it to get some more of this production up, right? Like, he has a lot of minerals. Now, if he can flood the field, use those minerals up, and just increase his production on these vultures, like, that's a pretty quick way to just start getting this increased supply. Now, we do have another base going down here at the 7, 8-ish o'clock for Javi, which will bring him up to 4 bases, right? So he's got the main, natural, well, I guess south natural. This guy, he's going to have a 4th. Ricehat has established his 3rd, but right now with these siege tanks are going to be able to deny this gas. This is such a weird piece of terrain too. There's this 6 o'clock expansion. Javi using it as a launching point to just completely contain Ricehat into this natural location. But Ricehat's doing a great job stabilizing, got his CC repaired. He's getting tons of money at the moment. And he is just on full production. Sitting at 7 factories. 7 factories for Havi. Wait. I thought I heard dropships. I don't see them though. Alright, Ricehat securing the high ground. Oh, I did hear dropships. Oh my gosh, he's about to clean up his natural. He's going to be hitting this from 2 different locations. Using the high ground and the approach from his base, Javi's going to clean this up. Okay, so Havi now about to secure a 5th base. Ricehat about to secure a 4th. This is an awesome game. This is a lot of fun to watch. Alright, so now, okay, so instead of opting to go for an immediate expansion, Havi is going for the full contain here. And there's not much here. You know, at first I was going to say, oh yeah, he'll probably set up here. You know, this is a really tight choke. If he can own this with some Goliaths or missile turrets and like some tanks, nothing's getting through here. Like, this is a huge pain in the butt. You have to like go all the way around or come through here. But I think if he catches wind how weak this is, he can just push right in. Now we do have a fight going down right here. No, we don't. We just have some mines. I'm wrong. But here we go. Okay, so he is going to push right into the natural. He's going to siege up. He's got his Goliaths here to prevent these drops. There it is. Yep, Goliaths are going to knock out that drop ship. And that's GG, right? Like the two-prong assault there being just a little bit too much. And that's going to give Havi a 2-1 victory over Ricehat. Very fun. Very fun. Well, this is you know, a part of StarCraft Underground. If you'd like to join StarCraft Underground, we don't just do Brood War, we do StarCraft 2 as well. The Discord link is in the description. And a lot of cool guys like Ricehat, a lot of cool guys like Havi are in that server. You know, you can practice with them, you can play in the brackets with them. It's growing really fast, and it's been a lot of fun. But yeah, that's going to be it for tonight. Thanks for watching, talk to you later.